Protesters demanding a ceasefire in Gaza gathering at the Port of Oakland today. Their goal, stopping a ship they say is ultimately bound for Israel. They believe the ship will be filled with military weapons to aid Israel in its ongoing war against Hamas. That ship no longer at the port, but our Tom Vakar is. He joins us live with what unfolded today. Tom.
Well, what we know is that the ship did leave the port late this afternoon, but what we're told is that it actually went across the bay and is parked somewhere near where Recology has its recycling center. And for what reasons we're not told, but obviously they didn't want it here anymore, and it is now gone. Now, having said all of that, this is nothing unusual. The Port of Oakland for decades has stored and serviced ships of the military right here. Here at the Port of Oakland, beginning early Friday morning, some 200 pro-Palestinian demonstrators walked into the port and right up to the U.S. Ready Reserve military ship, which they say is headed towards Israel. An additional 200 protesters gathered at the gate after port security closed that gate.
We came on through, the gates were open. This is obviously a peaceful protest, and we're here to show our solidarity with the Palestinian people.
We know that this vessel is headed towards Tacoma, Washington, where it will be then getting the equipment that it will be taking to, the military equipment it will be taking to apartheid Israel and aid in the genocide of the people of Gaza.
The Cape Orlando is a roll-on, roll-off ship primarily made to transport vehicles and trailers. If its next port of call is the Port of Tacoma, that's part of what is known as a power projection platform located very close to McChord Joint Military Base. This is the ideal ship for such things as tanks, armored personnel carriers, mobile rocket launchers, as well as troop trucks, cargo trucks, and Humvees.
Over 9,000 Palestinians have been killed. 4,000 of those are children. At the same time that the president of this country is so-called calling for a humanitarian pause.
And I believe that there should be an immediate ceasefire, not a humanitarian pause.
A small handful of protesters was able to breach the security fence. It'll be up to the Coast Guard to decide if they should be arrested or cited for violating federal MARSEC, federal marine security laws that require proper authority to pass through them.
We're outraged that this is happening in Oakland. We're outraged this would happen anywhere.
Though many police officers were here, along with Coast Guard law enforcement and port security guards, everyone on both sides was professional and cordial and resulted in absolutely no violence. Back to you.
Tom, do we know where these protesters got the information that this ship may be headed to Israel?
One of them told me that it came from somewhere inside the port. Now, there are a whole lot of people inside the port, so that could be one of thousands and thousands of people. But the military is generally pretty low-key about their sailings and all of that stuff. In fact, you see two ships behind me here. They're actually military ships, but you won't see them on Ship Finder, which tracks all ships because they're military ships. So somebody who had some knowledge did that. One other thing that's interesting. From the Port of Tacoma to Haifa, Israel, it's about 5,800 miles. If that thing was at cruise speed, it would take it 12 days to get there if it could refuel as it was going. So it's at least 12 to 15 days before whatever it's carrying is going to get to the ports in Israel, because that's just the sheer distance of it. Back to you.
Yeah. Tom Vakar, live in Oakland for us tonight. Tom, thank you.